class.
Well, I can read your messages too, Kyle.
Oh, what?
Fog says you sound great, by the way.
Oh, nice. Thanks, Fogged.
Thank you, Fog. All right. Chasing down some wolves. Slayer. All right, so we got another aggro tri-lane coming out from Team Unique. That's wild.
Do like the Death Prophet switcheroo here. I love this. So here's the thing about the Earthshaker. You can even aggro tri-lane with it, Cap, because you reset the lane. And suddenly, Drow's playing in his own safe lane against the Lycan with a Disruptor. This is actually not ideal because I'm pretty sure Lycan Undying can just 2v3 this no problem. But
we'll see. It's not going so well for Solo right now.
This is not going to work.
No, it's not.
Because of the great block from the Earthshaker. Because Earthshaker is the best support in Dota 2, Cap.
Way to just dial back right to your original point, Kyle. No matter which way the game goes, Kyle was always right. I also like the spread that they had, man. I don't think it was possible for Solo to get a two-man decay there.
No, it was not. Disruptor is excellent in these advantageous lanes because you always get extra bonus attacks off thanks to the strike, and you're gonna be just chilling. This is great for you.
All right. Well, what about that bottom lane? Is Death Prophet gonna be okay? I imagine you are. It's a Tidehunter lane.
And it's a Rubik as well, so you just can't really do too much to this Death Prophet, although we will probably see a lot of Gush spam come out. Another hella underrated level 1 ability. 90 mana, -4 armor, 40% slow, 4 seconds.
I mean, I guess if they pull this lane far enough back, but sadly it's
pushing in, yeah.
It's pushing in, so. But if they can manage to keep her away from the tower, I guess the slow of the Gush, they can kind of punish the Death Prophet, but it feels like this is
Cap,
just overall going to be worse for the Lycan.
You have like inverted mouse drag on Cap. This is terrible. No wonder you can't get 8k MMR. Oh my god.
Dude, it's called smooth drag, and it's what commentators use.
Ah, that would make sense.
Yes, JJ has smooth drag on for a nice, wonderful viewing experience.
Oh, that is very pleasant. Oh, nice double decay. They get the ward though. This is the only downside is that in this matchup.
Oh.
Hang on.
I thought they were gonna maybe block in Solo, but
the trouble you have is Crystalliz's Necrobook timing is everything for this NoTechies lineup. So if they can shut him down a little bit, this is gonna be real nice for Team Unique. He's doing pretty well so far though, considering how crushed Ghostic is getting down bot.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like all of you guys were talking about on the panel was the fact that this Lycan pick did indeed save their draft in a lot of ways because it gives them pushing power, gives them a way to a hero that gets on top of the Drow with good amount of damage. It's yet another hero that Storm Spirit doesn't like to be able to play around.
Yeah, Storm hates playing against Lycan. You have to deal with Necrobook mana burn, and he's just too tanky. You don't really deal too much real damage early on. You want to be able to play corners of the map. NoTechies is going to try to increase the pace. It'll be curious to see what build Aragon goes for, because it is Lycan Morph, but this is another hero I think might be a bit underrated. I've seen SEA abuse Morphling for a little while now, and
now Ghostic, he's the one getting abused, and he will fall, getting the first kill for NoTechies.
I actually would have liked to see them rotate.
Ergon manages to snatch up that invisibility, but he doesn't have a bottle, so it's not like it really matters too much. Crystallize is going to be pulled back to his doom. That's the Glimpse kill. 2 levels of Thunderstrike, 1 level of Glimpse. I wonder if he leveled that just because of the opportunity he saw, or if he always planned on getting that. So now Solo's going to die as well. You could see the Wolves in vain trying to body block Palantimos as much as possible. But honestly, Drow Ranger tri-lanes are super scary, especially with an Earthshaker, because of those Frost Arrows.
Keep you safe.
You're okay with this, though. I mean, Solo, the benefit of Undying is that when you die in scenarios like that, you force so much resource away from your enemy. Like, that was, what, 3 spells used? Full mana from Drow gone. He has another volley, and that's about it. So you force regen to be purchased, and then you just TP back in. In fact, he'll actually run bottom.
Look at him. Look at him using the wolves. He's going to go deny the bounty rune. Nope, the Storm Spirit. Someone gave Pikachu the heads up. They're like, dude, we can't stop the wolf. You gotta jump now if you want the bounty rune, and he does.
Lycan is the... Oh, hang on. Bottom lane. Solo's here. Ghostic has 2 drains and a Fairy Fire. But no teammates.
Does not have any teammates. He's going to use as much as he can to bring Malik low, but it won't be enough.
I'm surprised he doesn't have a stick when you consider Malik's, you know, he's a Tide Hunter. He's going to be using a lot of Anchor Smashes. And that just, you know, 4 or 5 charges represents an extra Q. It's like 2 CS and some damage. Yeah,
combine that with like a raindrop at this point in time, and you could be quite deceptively tanky.
I'm a big fan of value raindrops. You see Team Secret pick them up a whole hell of a lot. It's free mana regen, and it is it's basically a salve of health. Just included. The free regen is great, but more importantly, as a DP, you're going to die to a volley of spells. You're going to get bursted down. 2 raindrop procs, especially against a hero like Tide Rubik, you're going to get 2 raindrop procs off in an engagement. You're alive. You're going to heal. It's just so good.
Solo drops the Tombstone. They're still going to go for this kill, though, because Pikachu has more than enough burst damage, and he will not only take the Undying Bounty, but also the Tombstone Bounty.
And
that's
the
an
ward.
extra 125 Slayer. He does drop that Sentry, but it does cost him his life. Crystallize. How close are we to level 6? Ooh, he's almost there. And at that point in time, the Drow Ranger will probably no longer want to be in this lane.
Oh, I thought Solo was bringing him the recipe, but unfortunately, he did not communicate that. Otherwise, Crystallize literally just kills Drow right about now, but he doesn't have the Necrobook on body. If it gets here with the next 10 seconds, it is. That could still very likely be a dead Drow.
It could be.
He's gearing up for it.
He should know that level 6 is coming in soon, but he doesn't know exactly the timing, especially since he himself is not level 6. They're going to go for it now, but there's the Fissure to be able to block out some of the damage, and there's still no Necrobook just yet, so they're going to have to content themselves with a kill onto Siva Slayer, but the Wolves? Okay. Oh, we used the smoke at the last second to try and save him, but it didn't work.
That's unfortunate. Ghostic level 6 has the Falcon Blade. Very OP item. Shout out to offlaners. Any hero you play can buy a Falcon Blade. Check it out. Stats. It is the new Aquila, the new double bracer. It's so good. Buy it.
I'm not going to go that far, Kyle, but I will agree that it's relatively valued. Yes. Now, Fluffy Hat, that's the real bracer.
It's an extra mana regen, an extra damage, and an extra 50 health for the components, plus 225 gold.
Yeah, it sounds like to me that 225 gold just bought you those.
Okay,
those
yeah, it's not as okay.
Yeah,
it's even.
No, I was looking at her. The thing was, the Falcon Blade was kind of a. Honestly, I think it was a bad item before they buffed it recently. Now that extra 225 gold feels pretty decent.
Yep,
it's nice. And especially if you're a mana-intensive hero like you were talking about with the Legion Commander.
Yeah. Heroes like DP, heroes like LC that don't really want to buy bottles specifically, it's just so nice to have a Falcon Blade. And because of the changes, you know, I've talked about this at length for what feels like years now, because of the backpack, you can afford to be slot inefficient because you're going to have slots to spare. There's a TP slot. You can keep all your regen in the backpack. You know, you're not really losing anything anymore.
Especially on offlaners where, like, you may be investing into one item that costs, like, 5,000 gold. Pipe maybe agrees. The Tombstone's not going to be saved here, but Slayer's life may not be saved. We'll see if the kinetic field actually helps him out here. It's the Storm Spirit zipping in is actually maybe going to save the day and get the kill onto Malik here. Turns around, throws a gust, but even if he wanted to pop those stick charges, pop the Ravage, none of it's worth it. He just gives up his life and calls it quits.
Yeah, this is another just solid performance from Unique. Like, they're playing the game the way it should be played. There's a little bit of pressure coming out on mid from the Morph, but again, it's Crystallized. He's the guy that's going to have to set the tempo. He's got ulti, he's got Necrobook, but because of that aggro tri-lane, he is behind. Even with Ghost Stick in the net worth right now.
And it feels a little awkward that he feels pressured to make those moves without being able to like naturally wait for Necro 3 or just like naturally push towers he wants to push. He's going to go for it now. Ghostic immediately goes to the TP out. That's going to be denied by the Ravage. Double ultimates there to be able to kill Ghostic.
You lose a glorified offlaner. You get 4 bounty runes. You're going to take that all day as Unique, a 1-for-1. And they get both ults, to your point. Like, that means for 2 minutes now, NoTechies are going to have a real tough time pressuring anywhere.
I think one thing that we probably didn't talk about during the draft, because it's easy to lose sight on a last pick hero, on some of the heroes that are picked early on the opposing side, but like Earthshaker against Lycan.
Yeah,
you know, that's a really good way. Fissure's a really good way of being able to disengage and create a lot of time for your cores to survive.
I like the decision from Unique to not deal with bottom. They had no mana on their Earthshaker, and he was not level 6. Still isn't. So if Shaker's 6, gets a mango, he can just teleport bottom, defend that by himself. But because Bignum isn't quite there yet, you just let it go. It's the least value tower. You get a trade up top. This is A-okay for Unique. They are not feeling the pressure. And Pikachu's closing in on his Orchid as well. Aragon going Yules on Morphling. I have not seen that before.
Yeah.
I've seen it on offlane morph.
Yeah. But this is a 2-position Morphling. This is a Morphling that has a Lycan core. Like, I feel like Urgon eventually wants to be... Like, if this game ends up going past 35 minutes, he's got to start, you know, being the actual carry.
Dire's middle tower is under
Yeah.
That's, well, I guess we'll see what it turns into here as Zayats is going to die.
Okay,
Static Storm.
maybe it's for the Wind Waker. Because I believe you can Wind Walk out of Disruptor ult.
Yeah.
Not if it tags Disruptor ult, but I believe that works. It might not work. I'm not sure. I've never tested that interaction.
You won't be able to activate it if you're an Ags Disruptor ult.
Correct.
But
if
I
it
guess
is an
my
Ag-
question is, why Wind Waker, which is so expensive, as Slayer is barely going to get away. Still may be in trouble as Solo's trying to chase him down. It looks like he doesn't have the mana for a TP scroll, so he should kind of be screwed here.
The ward, though, is going to get the kill.
Nice
man.
ward place. That is certainly going to give NoTechies knowledge that the ward is there, but still, it
take that,
saves Yama's life and kills Slayer. Second, why not a BKB? I mean, if the Disruptor is that big of a problem for you.
You know, this is what people said about the Wright brothers. You know, flying is impossible. Aragon is going to prove us wrong. He's going to show us the power of manned flight with that Wind Waker, that allows him to walk on the wind. And that's going to change your mind about this. Now, he could have bought a Manta. He could have bought a BKB, sure. But we're going Galaxy Brain.
Okay.
And...
Oh, my God. I think Solo was bugging out there trying to kill the ward.
The real quick, they got bottom towers. So this is the concern with NoTechies when they blow their big ults like that. They still didn't take control of this bottom jungle. So it's nice to get the objective, but you want to be able to turn that into map control, and they're unable to because of the pace of their draft at the moment. So if you look at that gold advantage, it was at 1K when the tower died. It's suddenly 4K for Unique, 3K, 4K. But this mid-fight, this is going to be what they need. They have the Ravage again.
This is going to be all important with an Orchid freshly picked up on Pikachu with a Necro 3 on Crystallize. This is going to be where the two teams smash against each other. And we'll see. They're able to even things out. There goes the Ravage in order to stop everything. The Static Storm does go out. At the same time, the Echo, it does a ton of damage, but ultimately, NoTechies walking away, limping away with some of their heroes very low, but they might still be able to disengage and maybe even go back in as Urgon's trying to chase down Slayer with all these zombies that are still out. Pikachu gets rolled over by the waveform, does die. He got off silence into another silence there from Ghostic. Looks like Urgon may still die, but the Yule Scepter comes in. Can he get out? Teeping away. The Strength Morph is good enough, and Kyle, he flew.
You doubted, but the Yules is key. He needs that active Dispel. So many silences, so many purgeable abilities. If you wait for a Manta, he's dead there. You wait for a BKB, he's dead there. That's right, Cap.
Aren't they? All right.
They didn't get the tower. And that's okay. That was a wild fight, though. that really could have gone a lot worse for Unique. Consider that was Ravage on 4. That was a level 4 tombstone. We're going to watch this this big play. Pikachu, oh, he kills him there, actually, if he gets the pull-off before that auto attack. But look at this. The Yules, and oh, it's beautiful. Look at him soar like a watery eagle above the lane. Crystallized didn't really get much off in that fight, but he did survive, and they are currently attacking the mid tower. Super slow-mo. 9K resolution.
All right. Well,
Middle tower has fallen.
I guess in some of these longer drawn-out fights, the mana regen does become rather important. The pullback here, Undying, is going to get popped by the Orchid pretty easily here. Crystallized is showing up with a Necronomicon. Unfortunately, they don't have any disables to stop the Storm TP.
Yep. Nice play there. Gets the pick off on really one of the only 2 heroes he can take out. This'll be a tough game for Pikachu. He's going to have to earn his stripes because this is a rough one. You don't really have the team fight until you have a BKB plus 1 item online. Really, the Shiva is going to be necessary too.
I love the attempt, Malik. Defend your wards. Don't let people de-ward for free. Fortunately, Slayer, he already had a game plan. A glimpse and a TP out keeps him alive, kills the vision.
So Malik impressed me in their series against Extremum last week, but somebody pull this man aside, give him a talking to about the importance of mana regeneration. That is like the 7th mana potion I've seen. A Soul Ring instead of that Bracer, you'd feel so much better. Or really just anything. You know what? What item?
Hey, this is a cool stat. I love this. I want to see more of this. As it makes sense that the Undying, whose mana cost on Decay went up significantly, is the one to spend the most.
1,200 gold on consumables is a tide that was in a 2-on-1. If he's investing that gold into regeneration and real items, like that's Soul Ring plus a, I don't know, 400 gold to give to his kids. Like that's meaningful. And Ravage is up, Lycanult is up, it's go time.
That's a tombstone spot, potentially, if they're going to be a team fight here. They deal with the Sentry. Slayer's just going to keep on running.
Solo's been good about that his entire career. Whenever he's on Undying, you watch his film, it's always fighting around these high grounds. So key as an Undying team captain.
They just looking to backdoor this tower. They're really setting up for it. They popped the Necronomicon. Creep wave is coming in soon, but yeah, Crystallize is like, there's no time to waste, boys. We're down to 5,000 net worth. They're gonna force the glyph out. They gotta take some more of these towers in order to even out this game.
They need team fights most of all, but it's just so tough. You're kind of forced to hold hands because you're playing against a Storm Orchid, a Disruptor, the Blink Shaker. There's so much threat just by proxy of unique heroes being off the map. Ghost Stick with that hood is very strong and tough to find, and the Drow is just hiding in the jungle. So when that BKB's up, suddenly things get real dicey for the side of NoTechies. Arcane Rune. Ghost Stick. Oh no, they
saving it for the Storm Spirit, but Malik is going to deny it. He says, no, this is my Arcane Rune. Showing off his fresh Blink Dagger for that play.
Oh, the tomb's down. That is not good for NoTechies.
Unique. If they can back up cleanly here, it'd be fine, but it looks like Slayer's probably going to be dying as he can't deal with 2 tanky boys at once. 11-9, 4,000 net worth lead, but Palantimos now has a BKB on his Drow Ranger.
Question. Whoa.
Pull back in. Solo still has the remnants of his ultimate, but he's still plenty fast thanks to phase boots.
Yeah, it's a heads-up decision by Pikachu, just playing to bottom, away from the team. They're 5, I hide, and Roche is the move. You don't want to go for a tier 2 in this spot as NoTechies. It would give advantageous positioning to the side of Team Unique. The Roche pit, a lot easier to control, and honestly, I just don't think you can do a damn thing about this. Unique, it is suicide to try and run into this pit right now. It'll be dead long before you get there.
Well, if this is suicide, call Team Unique a bunch of lemmings, because they're going for it. Kyle Ghostic is going to be leading the way with the Exorcism. Throws up the Talent. Big comes in, hits the Echo. The Agent's on the deck and picked up by Urgon. The Ravage damage is nicely placed, and Urgon's going to start laying in some damage to repel this attack from Unique, but he's already going to be dying with his first life, and Pikachu, he's cleaned up the back line. The Ruby's going to die. Urgon's left for last here. Solo, he's going to throw out a Tombstone and try in vain potentially to save him, but oh, the Yule Scepter may not give him out of this one. The damage is not enough. He manages to TP out with no disables available from Unique. They'll get the Tombstone at the end. They'll win the fight. They'll take away the Aegis. Ultimately, NoTechies cannot be happy with that engagement.
No, definitely not. They let the Earthshaker blink into the pit, Cap. A big problem is that the Tombstone was still down, which probably influenced Unique's decision to push there. But you can't keep tied inside the pit. Somebody has got to break the Blink Dagger. But Bignum just got a straight-up initiation into, like Lycan and all of his creeps just died at the start. He didn't even get his ult off, I don't believe. He did, but it just wasn't useful because he's dunked.
Yeah, ultimately, it feels like maybe I think they were relying on the Wolf scouting. You know, in a way, I think they felt safe because they're like, the Wolves are scouting things out. They're not in the triangle, but they smoke. They run through the river, and Bignum gets just a beautiful initiation. Even if he doesn't stop the Aegis from being picked up, the damage has already been done. And
that could have been worse, too. The Lycan was responsible for Pikachu burning half his mana and then the Glimpse as well. Otherwise, they just kill Morph again because Glimpse will be active as he comes out of the Aegis respawn. But you just can't allow that to happen. It's a right decision, but somebody's got to prevent the initiation. If you allow Earthshaker to start a fight by echoing 3, you deserve to lose that engagement.
Fair enough, Kyle.
It's a 7K gold lead. Drough's starting to get out of control. Palantimos, no deaths in a BKB. And Crystallize simply doesn't have the physical damage threat at the moment to really go toe-to-toe with them. Oh!
You know what, Kyle?
You what?
Malik says you're right.
What'd he buy?
Should have been investing in my future. Should have been investing in regeneration. He's going to go for Yule Scepter as well.
That is not what I was talking about. Yules are a tricky item. My least favorite item in Dota 2.
I mean,
it's for personal reasons.
To be fair, I actually like this pickup quite a lot for a Tidehunter against Disruptor. I mean, there's not many ways to deal with this silence.
Yeah, even then, his mana pool is just so limited. I wouldn't even mind just a standard Arcane Boots. I've like never seen Ice skip Arcanes on Tide, and he buys Soul Ring every game.
Yeah.
And I think there's a reason for that. Sometimes there's phase. But yeah. We'll see.
Well, NoTechies are not going to let that one team fight slow them down. They're going to go for another one here, laying out the Tombstone with this smoke. They're going to be able to find the initiation on a Ghost Stick to look to be able to blow him up first in this team fight because he created some serious hell last time. So to deal with that damage, plus BKB going to be used by the Drow Ranger in order to get out.
Unique is playing a lot better than I gave them credit for. Like, this is great. They lose Ghost Stick, sure, but that's, again, the Tombstone used. And you notice, Unique's heroes, they ran to the creep wave. They pushed out bottom, forcing this NoTechies line to try and threaten mid, which they can't really do because Tombstone is down. And unfortunately for Solo, that's his hero. No tomb, no fight.
Seems like maybe week 4 is just kind of like the redemption arc for many teams. I mean, Ghost, they looked great in their game yesterday.
Dude, Brame looked great.
Unique.
That was nuts.
Brame looked insane.
They were even giving us shout-outs, and thus I'm going to reward them, specifically SSA Spartan, that lovable, attractive, beautiful man with compliments.
Honestly, it's good that Spartan's such a nice guy, because otherwise... there would be a different kind of call-outs with the way that both you and I, especially you...
He deserved it. He walked up like 17 times to his own death on Oracle.
Man's got a plan.
You got to call it like you see it, Cap.
His plan is to die.
I guess it's good he's playing Oracle. They get mid-tower uncontested. Again, the Tombstone was just coming up off cooldown. And you're afraid as NoTechies if you don't have a vision advantage. You can't really initiate on Unique if they're sitting there in the proper positioning, because there will be that Shaker to counter-initiate. You don't yet have a BKB on Lycan, thus his hero can never commit. We saw that in the game Liquid was playing as well, where Koif was just kind of hanging out in the back, letting his creeps fight for him, but they're too far behind for that to be a legitimate play in this spot.
How important is it to keep up a fast tempo in this game for NoTechies? I'm looking at the shapeshift. It just came up. Do you take another engagement right now, or do you wait for the BKB? Because you're going to need another minute or so for that. Like, basically, you could get another engagement in, another round of shapeshift before your BKB, or you can just stall.
You kind of have to stall. Unless you can get an initiation with a Ravage, which is somewhat unlikely. The thing is, the NoTechies itemization, where you don't really see this moment where all 3 cores will just synergize, right? You have an E-Blade, but Tide just has a blink, and your Lycan doesn't have BKB, so you can't fight yet. But by the time Lycan has BKB, now it's like, oh, Morph almost has Scotty. Meanwhile, you'll be fighting into an extra BKB because the Death Prophet is about to finish, which will match the Lycan. And because of the itemization from Tide, specifically the lack of early investment, you're not going to scale. You're a Blink Dagger with a Ravage. If there's 2 BKB cores in front of you, you're just going to sit there and watch.
Sorry, Solo, but you can pop that ultimate if you want. It's not going to make much of a difference against Pikachu's Storm Spirit, who does tons and tons of damage right now. I haven't actually been paying that much attention. What do we got for Urgon's items? I haven't looked at them in a while. Oh, hold that thought, Slayer. He's going to come in, Static Storm with it, Kinetic Fields. Now, it didn't stop the shapeshift, but it might still be enough to get the kill, and it does. He was glimpsed back anyway. Urgon on the other side of things tried to come through, but he was silenced. Palantimos, his BKB wears out. Now he's going to be stunned up by the Ravage. Chain stun off of that. Big entrance with the Echo Slam, and that just might be enough to bail Palantimos out. He turns around, throws out some damage at Urgon as well. What a save from Bignum.
I mean, you don't have a BKB on Light. What do we just say? Him and everything, he's dead. That's that.
Well worth it for Team Unique, as taking a team fight, or rather a team fight forced upon them by a Lycan with no BKB. They use their BKBs to win the fight. Now they can hit this tier 2 tower. Might even be able to get the outpost before 30.
Can I say, this is one of the new benefits we'll see, I think, with this longer DPC season. This squad looks a hell of a lot better than they did even last week. But you can see that they've, I think it was Einstein, originality is about how well you hide your sources, or rather creativity. This opener is a straight up poach, but DP Shaker has proven to be very effective across multiple regions, and they've played a real clean game of Dota 2. Their decision making is on point. The couple of big fights they took, notably that last one and the one around the Roche pit, showed promise. Like, this is good. It's a team improving.
Yeah, I mean, this is looking a bit more like a Team Unique, that slightly different roster, but like, what was it, 9 months ago? Closing to a year ago? We saw them at ESL One Los Angeles, right? They were one of the few teams that, didn't they take a game off of Secret back then? I think it was a 2-game series for ESL One Los Angeles round robin.
It's a long time ago.
Yeah.
I don't think this was the same team at all.
No, they definitely had, maybe it was a Summit or something, but they definitely had Pikachu and Bignum? Either way, NoTechies are they're looking a little worse for wear, as we were kind of putting them up on a pedestal after their win against Spirit as the favorite of this series. Not looking so favorited now, as they might just be losing this 2-0 if it continues this way. They have to battle up against a 14,000 net worth deficit. Now they've got the BKB on the Lycan, but I'm not sure how much that's really going to change. Kyle, is Pikachu is just going to dare to dive into the tier 4s in order to kill Solo here. It's going to be telekinesis, no real follow-up disables, because that's an Undying. It's not really his thing.
Yep. This is the danger. I mean, when Morph goes for Yules, I like the build, don't get me wrong, but when you're Lycan so far behind, you just kind of don't have damage anymore. And now you have one core that kind of sacrificed his game a bit for a more effective mid-game, but your Lycan is just not a hero, which is not the position you can afford to be in. Level 14 only. His opponent offlaner is almost 18. Oh, God.
Big Echo Slam to the entrance in. They might just be able to blow up the Lycan before he gets a chance to use that fresh, shiny BKB. No Lycan, no fight. NoTechies on the run here. And at this point, it's a question of who is going to escape. Most of them do, though. They all get out, but they're not going to be able to contest this free Roshan for Unique.
Another important point in that initial fight, not this one, but the one before, that was an Earthshaker Shard engagement. And that is a huge power spike, in all honesty.
Yeah.
The scan is out. They know that they're on the way. Got to be cautious here, but look at that. They're going to break the smoke. That is how it's done, folks. Don't allow the enemy team to freely blink into your Roche attempt. There was a Blink Ravage available until the Fisher came out. Now they're going to initiate.
Now Unique gets the opportunity to respond. Pikachu just diving in deep. He's got the Aegis. He's willing to use his first life to be able to start this engagement and keep NoTechies where they're at. They're going to make sure Urgon doesn't have an opportunity to escape here. Silence up once again by the Drow Ranger. This Drow is just making mincemeat of poor old Urgon. Every single time he's just getting wiped out by that passive. Because he's all base armor.
Oh, yeah. It's a really good point. And this is the danger. Again, this Tidehunter pick. I like it a lot more when you have real teamfight items. You're using your body as a manner of engaging. When you go this Blink build, all you are is Blink Ravage. Unique pop a couple BKBs, you don't want to do anything anymore, and suddenly both your cores are just mincemeat.
Yeah.
Like they're forcing defensive Yules and just huddling under the Morph anyway, waiting for him to come down so they can kill him. And you don't really... You can't Blink Ravage, you don't offer anything. There's no buffs, there's no auras effectively for this entire NoTechies team. No mech, no pipe, no Vlads. And this is 2 racks.
Dire's middle barracks has fallen. Dire's bottom
Team Unique
Dire's bottom
looking pretty good here. As it was Cyber Legacy. That's what they went by back then. Pikachu, Palantimos, Bignum.
I thought it was a
trio.
blue team, but it wasn't this blue team.
Yeah, it wasn't those colors quite, but yeah. This trio, they looked pretty good at ESL One Los Angeles, and just in time, the second half of the Eastern European DPC.
And
Here's ESL One.
This is big for them. You know, they were only 0-3. They've still got 3 matches left after this one. NoTechies took out Spirit. I expected them to come in and look much better because they really made a statement against Spirit, one of the invited teams. I think that was the only match thus far where a qualifier team took out an invited squad. But Unique just looking like far and away the better team thus far. These games have not been close.
Yeah, certainly. And as you said, I mean, they win this one. They still have 3 more to go. Unfortunately, one of them is still against one of the tougher teams. I'm not sure if they haven't played Live to Win.
No, they've played Live to Win, and they've played either VP or Navi with 1 left.
Okay, so the other one is still available. Here's, oh man, Pikachu.
Bye.
Team Unique had a full read of where NoTechies was at here. And, damn. He actually went the shard on the Drow Ranger. That's interesting.
Yeah.
The hypothermia.
It's really nice against the Morph.
Just jumped straight in, managed to get the Ravage. They're going to try and deal with Palantimos, but the E-Blade with no magic damage to follow, they just call it since the team fight's not even done yet. Crystallize is still here, but they're like, no, that's just it. We're done.
That is a statement. Look at the smile. My man Ghost